wide. Muller gets it, and he gets plenty of it, does he? No! What a catch! Oh my God! I don't believe what I've just seen. Athleticism at its very, very best. This is quite an incredible moment, folks. You won't believe what you've just seen. It is just the best piece of skill I think I've ever seen in a game of cricket.
What is up, people? It's your boy Sickma in the house of Sickma Studios, and what a week it's been. It's been pretty wild. We've got to see India bring the T20 World Cup back home in the city of Mumbai, the city that never sleeps. And those of you who have been seeing these stories out on social media, out on the news, Marine Drive did get pretty crowded. It's pretty surprising that me and the crew were literally there about 2-3 weeks before, like at Marine Drive right there, and it's pretty astonishing to see like them getting the cup back home at the very city that never sleeps. It was pretty astonishing. It's pretty crazy. But yet again, I mean, it was a moment that got us all out of a small break of constantly coming up in second place since the last World Cup. So I think India did need that bit of push to come in. As of now, I don't know where Vidit is. I've just been waiting for him. This guy told me he's pulling up. He wanted to talk about the T20 World Cup. I'm like,
let's go.
That's why you're taking so much time. Just so you could wear the jersey.
I don't know if it's visible in the camera, but yeah. Here it is.
Oh God, you're a King Kohli. Why 08?
Yeah, I have no clue, bro. I don't know. It's just, this is what happens when you buy a jersey outside the stadium in a hurry. This is what happens. But anyways, it's always King Kohli.
I just realized this right now. I was like in Mumbai when Vidit got this jersey. And I told him, this is why you don't get your jerseys at Sunday Bazar or Chor Bazar. This is what it comes down to.
See, bro, for me, like, watching the match is the first priority. I don't mind. I don't get the logic of spending like 10k or something like that and then buying this.
Fair enough. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, at one point, you definitely want to sit and cheer for your team playing in the best jersey. But there are times when they really disappoint in a match and you have no option but to throw it back on the pitch. So it's pure frustration. Don't do that, guys. It's really, really cheap of you doing that. We never do that. We never do that.
So all of you cricket fans and people who don't follow cricket that much also, all of you know the entire disappointment we went through last year in November. I remember November 19th. Unfortunately, it was my mom's birthday. It was the same day. And all of us, like the family, everybody got together. And I was wearing a similar jersey, by the way. Even then, like full day I was wearing the jersey and watching the match. And I don't want to remind, but all of you know what happened. And then finally, here we are, 7 months later. And finally, after, I think we have won an ICC tournament after 13 years, if I'm not wrong. 13 or 11 years. And T20 World Cup, we're winning it after 17 years. So you can imagine the gap it has been.
I mean, like, it was a well-deserved win. I mean,
100%.
Also, there were a lot of emotional moments that did take place. The second I found out Virat Kohli is retiring from the T20 World Cup, I'm not going to lie, I felt old. I genuinely felt old because this was at one point the youngest player on the Indian cricket team. And it's barely been 10 to 15 years. And now this man, this legend of a man is retiring like at this very platform. Don't you feel old just because of that statement that came out of his on Twitter or live that very day?
Yeah, so he announced it like right after the match. And even Rohit Sharma for that matter. And Rohit Sharma is even more iconic because he started his career, I think, around 2006 or 7. He played for the 2007 India squad, which won the T20 final against Pakistan, where Srishant took the last catch, which was the first ever T20, ICC T20 World Cup which India ever won. And then we went on to win 2011, 2013 Champions Trophy. From there on, I think it has been like a string of losses again and again. And the saddest part is it's like we always come really, really close and then you know
towards the end we just lose it.
Like 2014 against Sri Lanka in the finals, then 2016 against West Indies in the semis, then again against Pakistan in the Champions Trophy finals. You can imagine the loss that is. Then 2019 again against New Zealand, the Dhoni run out in the semi-finals, and then the Test Championship, and then the World Cup. So it's like it's also disappointing for players. Like you keep criticizing them, but then you can just imagine the mental trauma that they go through, and with the stress that they have to perform every single time. But what were your thoughts like when we lost that last year's World Cup?
It was pretty heartbreaking, I'm not gonna lie, because I kind of had this mentality like every time someone says, okay, if you move an inch while watching an India match, that time a six is going to go. It's going to go. That's how the mentality is, right?
Yeah.
Within our whole Indian community, that's the kind of beliefs we have. That's how much we love our cricket. But also, when it came to the loss that happened the last season, it was more like I understood that when India does so well throughout the whole season, something's not right. Something doesn't get right.
Yeah.
And like every dog has his bad day, right? You can do well throughout the whole season, but there's going to be that one time like some player doesn't perform, some person doesn't perform, and that just builds up to the pressure of like living up to at least a population of 1.5 billion people who watch cricket.
Exactly. And
so it's not easy.
And doing it in front of like the biggest stadium in the world with like probably the largest crowd ever, I think it just adds to the disappointment. But to be honest, going into this 2024 T20 World Cup, I wanted them to win, but to be very honest, I did not want to carry that many expectations because we don't want to get disappointed again. But deep down, all of us wanted them to win, like get here, and they were. It was the same thing happening again. They were winning all the matches. Right from the beginning, they won all the matches till the very end. But I'll tell you,
even when Vidit kept asking me, I constantly told him, I'm like, bro, this is around the part where they disappoint us. Don't hold on to any sort of hope. It's just gonna hurt towards the end.
And honestly, I did think that they're gonna get disappointed when Rohit Sharma got out like pretty early in the finals because he performed throughout the tournament. Like
even before the 100, I thought they were going to lose. I was like, this is game over with South Africa right there.
And that's where you realize how mature and why Virat Kohli is who he is, because he had a very bad tournament after the IPL. He didn't perform at all. He didn't hit, I think, a half century. But then went out to hit 75, 76 in this final. So that really carried forward for us. And even players like Akshar Patel or Jasprit Bumrah, that Surya Kumar Yadav's catch. If you remember in the last over, the first ball, Miller's wicket, I think that was
wild. I think that was the catch we needed to get our hope back up into the game. Yeah. And I think that kind of gave them a hope as well into the game that, okay, we just had to get those last few wickets and the game is ours. And that's all it came down to. But nevertheless, I had one more question around that very note. At what point, did you feel that, okay, this is probably going to be like a head-to-head situation because India had like around 30 runs of 30 balls.
30 balls, yeah.
So, what was the pressure like within the house you were watching, the family you were watching, the mahal?
So yeah, I was watching with my mother in my house and then to be honest, when we reached that 126 target, I was like, okay, we are in the game. Like we do have an upper hand. If we get those early wickets, we will probably win this also. For me, the game changed when Akshar Patel was bowling. And I think Carlson was on strike and he hit almost 20 turns, 24 runs in 1 over. That was a turning point. That really scared the shit out of me. I'm like, why? Like after doing so much and playing so well, like why would you want to do that? But then I think credit goes to all the bowlers, including Bumrah, Arshdeep also, and Pandya of course, that they really carried. Like even Arshdeep, okay, he might have not got wickets in the last over, but he really didn't give any 4s or 6s in any of his overs.
Who was the captain for the finals again? Was it Rohit Sharma?
It was Rohit Sharma. So Rohit Sharma was the captain and Hardik Pandya was the vice captain.
Alright. And how did you find captaincy of the 2011 World Cup, which Dhoni was leading the team back then, in comparison to the T20 World Cup with Rohit Sharma? Would you moreover see an aggressive approach, which probably Kohli did at one point, towards captaincy, or would you prefer someone as cool as Mahendra Singh Dhoni himself? What do you think is more approachable and convenient to the Indian team?
Look, personally speaking, this is just my personal opinion that for me, Dhoni is the best player. He's my favorite player of all time. And of course, I'm going to like his captaincy the best. But then at the same time, it's very unfair to compare each one because everyone is very different. Dhoni, of course, everybody knows why he was who he is. To go into not just once or twice, he has gone till the very end to make India win a lot of matches. Rohit Sharma was more, again, he was not that aggressive, a little bit aggressive, but mostly calm. And the problem was, again, he faced a lot of setbacks, but finally it came through. Kohli was probably the most aggressive captain I have seen, especially in test matches. And you know what? I don't have a problem with that because you need that kind of aggressiveness when people are sledging you, when you go to England and Australia and play those test cricket matches. It's not how you play T20 or ODIs, by the way.
True.
It's been very aggressive. So Kohli was very, very good as a test captain. So I think everybody has their own capabilities. But I think until now, the thing we have to see is who is going to lead the next. Because Rohit Sharma has announced retirement from the T20 format. He has just few years left.
And that brings us to our next conversation.
Yeah.
Is Hardik Pandya the face of the Indian cricket team going forward? Virat has put it out on his Twitter.
Yeah.
So, what is your take on that? Because, like, Hardik, I'm impressed. I am impressed with the life story from the start of the controversy with Coffee with Karan, from the part where all of his dramas taking place in his life. The man's come a long way. Say whatever. You've seen those videos. You've seen the fans. I'm not going to lie. Indian fans are very aggressive. But when it comes to cricket, they take it as seriously as football they would in UK.
Yeah.
So it's pretty justified when a player has a bad day. A lot of
I think Hardik Pandya is his is actually a true comeback story. Virat Kohli has a similar, not very similar, but a similar similar comeback story when he was not able to get those centuries or even half centuries, and he trained himself.
He was told for his aggression.
Yeah,
in his
and then all those personal stories as well with Anushka and all of that. And then he became a very fit athlete, worked on the skills of course, and then he reached where he is right now. Hardik Pandya was, I think, even more worse because it went
rock bottom.
Yeah, it went way below the line. I think it went off limits, and the fans, Mumbai Indians fans, I know how passionate you guys are for your team, but then it went really far ahead with what and all you had to say. But in that sense, I think it's a true achievement because now nobody can really question him. And as far as your question is concerned about the next captain, I do think Hardik Pandya is the right fit to carry forward the Indian team. I think the only thing that he has to probably focus on is how he's going to carry forward everybody together, because Rohit and Kohli as well will have a few years still left. There will be another coach. As all of you know, Rahul Dravid will be retiring.
And the rumours about Gautam Gambhir.
So it's
the next Indian coach.
So I think it's gonna the next team that's gonna come up will be an entire new generation that's gonna form. They will lay the foundation for probably the next 10 years.
True.
How Kohli or Rohit were doing it back in 2014 or 15, and right now in 2024.
Which is why this T20 World Cup was so hard for me to digest. Because just one after the other, every player I have seen in my childhood grow up, he's just been taken down. Like my parents once said that Kapil Dev was the guy, Sunil Gavaskar was the guy. I think I'm seeing this in reality when I say that Kohli took his retirement from T20, shortly Rohit Sharma did, and a day after that, if I'm not wrong, Jadeja did as well.
Yeah, just the next day, yeah.
Who's left? This is too much for me to process, and it's usually it's going to be a new batch of the young players right now. I'm not saying nobody knows Rishabh Pant, nobody knows who Hardik Pandya or any of these players are, but it's a whole new generation, and I think this is going to be the face of cricket, and it's quite potential that we'll be going forward and probably telling our kids about Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma one day.
Exactly, and the thing is, so probably the next generation is going to be, firstly you're going to have to see different opening batsmen, which is Shubman Gill. Coming in from the under-19 team or Sunrisers Hyderabad will be Abhishek Sharma. Ishan Kishan is the one, then Yashasvi Jaiswal, these are the guys. Arshdeep Singh will be a bowler, Shardul Thakur, and these guys. So you'll see a lot of them. Kuldeep Yadav is always there. And if you actually compare all of them, Hardik Pandya will turn out to be the most senior player or the most experienced, because he has been under pressure a lot of times. I don't know if all of you fans, I'm pretty sure all the fans will remember this. It was correct me if I'm wrong, it was in 2016 as well, when T20 World Cup happened in India. And we were playing in Bangalore against Bangladesh. And we won that match by 1 run. And Dhoni was still the captain, and I remember Hardik was bowling the last over.
So he had that crazy run out.
The crazy run out, yeah. He bowled
he outpaced the Bangladeshi non-striker.
Yeah, so he bowled the perfect delivery, which was very close to being a wide, but it went straight to the keeper. Dhoni ran all the way from back and made a run out, and we won the match by a run. And it was the quarterfinals, if I'm not wrong. It was in Bangalore. It was a knockout game. So the thing is, he has been in those pressure situations, and hopefully it turns out better for India. But my question to you right now is what was your first memory as a cricket fan? Was it always the 2011 World Cup, or before that? Have you watched old highlights or whatever? What was it about?
So it's pretty.
Or was it some early cricket stories?
It's pretty crazy. I was kind of around, 4th, 5th standard when around the time I started playing cricket. And believe it or not, I didn't even watch an Indian game to become a cricket fan. My first game I think I watched it was around 2007, 8, 9, one of those years. It was an IPL match. It was RCB's first match against Hyderabad, if I'm not wrong.
Deccan Chargers, I think.
I think it was Deccan Chargers. It wasn't Hyderabad that time, exactly. So I think that was like a match I saw and I was like, wow, like this is what cricket looks like. And going forward, I played a lot for school, college and stuff like that. But if you're asking me one special memory, like since my childhood as a cricket fan, it's undoubtedly like it's not just going to be my opinion; it's going to be a lot of people's opinion as well. And it's nothing to debate about. Okay, it's going to be the 2011 World Cup all time. Dhoni's my all-time favorite. Like he's the GOAT. Like it doesn't even come down to a discussion while it's at it. And it's no comparison between Kohli and Dhoni. You guys can always keep debating about it. For me, Dhoni is always going to be the GOAT, whether you guys like it or not. And that last 6 in that game, the finisher, I think that was the most patriotic moment for me in my life. Like I didn't even feel that during August 15th in my school parade. I'm not going to lie.
And here's the thing, I feel like, so I got interested in cricket around the same time. I think after the 2007, like we were all kids back then, okay. So it was after the 2007 World Cup. I remember Yuvraj hitting those 6 sixes, became a big headline. That's why I got interested into cricket, and I feel like if we hadn't won that match in 2011, the final, I would have probably watched it for the interest of it, but I wouldn't be the same fan of cricket that I am right now.
True.
That win, I think, changed a lot of lives in India for the cricketing generation. Similarly, how it's going to change right now, because we are having back-to-back setbacks and finally we're bringing the cup back home. It's going to change a lot of lives, and it's going to change in a way that people from tier 2 cities, villages, towns are going to be interested in that.
Now I don't want cricket reaching every part of the city in India, but it's going to get all the more competitive, guys. So you better be willing to work your ass off and willing to get into cricket. I'm just saying.
So just to a little bit of trivia here. Especially Jaiswal, he's I think 20, right? No, 21? 21. He's probably around our age, younger than I think some of us. And he came to Mumbai and he used to walk in a small street vendor kind of something to sell some, if I'm not wrong, some food or something, some street side vendor kind of a person. And he didn't have enough money to get himself enrolled in a cricket coaching, but he used to play in the ground. But his coach saw that and he was kind enough to tell him that because you're so passionate and you have some skills, you can always practice. And look where he is today. He's playing for the Rajasthan Royals. He is the future of Indian. He will be the next opening batsman.
He was there in the squad as well.
He was there in the squad. He didn't play any match, but he was one of the reserve players. So he will be the next opening batsman for Team India. The reason I told the story was because that's how deep rooted cricket is in India. And people think that because we're losing continuously, the craze is gone. No, I think it's only increasing and it's becoming more and more competitive day by day.
Very true. And if you're asking me, like, I think Indian cricket is right there, it's at the top. But coming to one part of the question, like, I really wanted to see, like, of course, if you're going to be asking me who I was rooting for this T20 World Cup, it's always going to be India. But if you would be asking me in second spot who I was rooting for, actually second spot I'd be rooting for the American team because there were so many Indians in it. But a third spot who I'd be rooting for would be Afghanistan. Because say whatever, but huge kudos to the team for what they've done the whole season. Because I'm impressed. I'm definitely impressed.
And I can agree with you because I'll tell you one more reason. They beat Australia, bro. Like, my favorite moment in this tournament, of course, other than India winning World Cup, was Rohit Sharma thrashing Australia left and right. And second was Afghanistan thrashing Australia left and right.
The satisfaction.
Yeah.
Just like a mindbreaker to you guys, apparently Vidit's friend back in Australia, not going to take names, got into a bar fight, a house party fight with other Australian friends, his Indian group, and what exactly happened? Tell us about it. Don't take names.
Everybody's going to know what we're talking about it. He's there in all our episodes almost.
This was content even after moving out, bro.
This is how you know how seriously Indians take the cricket. They really are willing to go the distance even in another country to fight for their country.
All of you cricket fans or even general Indians, all of you who are living abroad, the patriotic feeling in you is more, the community feeling is a lot more when you're abroad because you need people to stay together.
Very true.
In times of emergency, right? And in such situations, my friend has gone with this bunch of Indian boys, all of them are Indians, and they've gone to the final. Bangaloreans, most of them. Okay. So they've gone to a very big house party and they're watching the finals, India versus South Africa. And then a bunch of other Indians who are probably, I don't know, from other places in India, and they were supporting South Africa. So these guys just had like a fun banter where they were just teasing South African fans, these so-called fans,
Heard it.
that we are winning the World Cup and all that, and then somehow it got turned into a fight. The other group slapped one of my friend's friend.
And the other group was also Indians, by the way.
Yeah, they were Indians, and they were supporting South Africa. Never mind, disgrace. Okay.
Get this shit together if you're watching this.
So, and then all of them literally thrashed each other up. And no, but the good thing about them is that India won the match, so at least they're satisfied that after all the thrashing they took upon themselves, they did something worth it.
Imagine you're bruising your eye and it is giving them that look, ha, bitch.
Yeah.
Just walk off.
Or just imagine you have the bruise in your eye and you lose a World Cup. That's even more fun.
That's embarrassing.
That's just embarrassing. So yeah, this happened.
It's kind of funny. See, we do not endorse this kind of behavior. Okay, let me get this clear to all our audience. But if anyone came to my face and told me, like, Dhoni's a bitch and like Virat Kohli's a bitch, you best believe that guy's not waking up tomorrow morning. Right? So I'm going to defend my country's team no matter what.
Of course,
So it's one more thing when you're fighting for CSK, RCB and all, I think is genuinely stupid. Like, whether there's a RCB fan.
I'm not an RCB fan.
You're not an RCB fan?
No, I'm a CSK.
Okay.
No, ask him to decide between CSK and Lucknow.
Dude, one second. No, sorry.
I was from UP.
See, I'm originally from Lucknow. I'm not a LSG fan or anything. It's just that because I'm from Lucknow and you have the team coming out first time from there. And they performed pretty well this time, to be honest. So it's just that
They made it to the finals once already.
Yeah, so they play against a team.
They gave the playoffs.
Yeah.
The first time I think they made it into finals or semis. I don't know. Gujarat and Lucknow did. There's two very fascinating teams.
Yeah, so it's not that I'm a LSG fan, it's just that when they're playing against a team, I want them to win because like Lucknow.
Fair
But all time I've always been a CSK fan, no doubt about that. And it's because of Dhoni, bro. Say what you want, it's because of Dhoni that I'm a CSK fan. Over and out.
I think every RCB fan understands the second a CSK fan tells, I'm supporting CSK just for Dhoni. But the second you say you're a CSK fan and you're living in Bangalore, they're just super ungrateful. Is what I feel. It's where I'm coming from.
And it's the same even in Chennai, by the way. There's no less.
But nevertheless, I heard that Dhoni's retired from his IPL as well. Has he?
Apparently, but I don't think so.
If he's not playing this year's IPL, I'm supporting RCB just so you guys know. But if you guys lose this season as well, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best. We need to get Mallya back, guys. Like, no matter what, we have to get Vijay Mallya back. He was our only hope. I'm not going to lie.
No, but I just want to ask you one question, okay? Because we're discussing the entire fan following and fame thing, right? Do you think, and this is a little bit of a serious question, okay? Do you think that the entire fan culture, over-enthusiastic fan culture, not the normal one, and the entire thing of brand endorsements at a very early age, the entire celebrity management, influencers, do you think because cricketers are getting very young cricketers, I'm not talking about established people like Virat or Dhoni or other players, even Rohit, they're young cricketers who are just starting off and they're getting surrounded by all these things. Do you think it's a serious disadvantage? It's causing some sort of distraction? Is it giving them things to focus on more other than cricket? Do you think that's happening?
See, till a certain extent, I feel these brand deals, these managements, till a certain extent, they are helpful. But if not managed in the right way to players, it can be pretty harmful. Because at the moment, as fans, we can look at them, we can idealize them as much as we want. But when it comes to ground reality, we need to understand that when all this fame comes in, it's going to get to a person's head no matter what. Exactly. You need someone handling all of these things for you. I'm not going to lie, we're not going to take names, by the way. Me, Vidit, our whole Sickma crew, our management for Sickma, we tried getting in touch with certain of like the players and coaches for this podcast over here today. And we couldn't because we didn't get approval from major authorities. We're not going to take names, but you can like best believe it is from the cricket community itself. But we just couldn't, just because we didn't get approval from them at a high point. And it's just been waiting for the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
We sent this in before India won the T20 World Cup. So just because we wanted a guest over here for you guys to watch. So I understand why they do it, right? It's a lot of paparazzi, it's a lot of media, it's a lot of name. It's a lot of shame. You saw what happened to Hardik Pandya, right? He was totally lost among all of it. I wouldn't say he kind of got lost or whatever, but he got overwhelmed with the fame that got to his head. Yeah. Right? He's done his redemption, he's done his time. And
in the best way possible.
He's done his redemption, he's done his time, and I think now he's just like made his comeback.
So I'll give you my opinion. It might be a little bit, I don't know, harsh, but I think when a player is playing for the main Indian team, and at least for the first 3-4 years, I think the BCCI should really get down little hard and be a little strict about it, and make sure they don't have any brand endorsements or celebrity management and all these kind of things for the first 3-4 years when you're playing for the Indian international team. I'm not saying it's going to cause. There's some players who are very focused. They can focus equally on these things as well as their games. But what happens is when you start getting involved in, first of all, you become an influencer. You're already influencing people because you're playing cricket. It's the biggest thing in India and the world. One of the biggest things, right? And when you start getting into other things,
and they certainly get a lot of money also.
They certainly get a lot of money, which is way more than what they get as a fee for playing cricket.
Imagine you're playing Ranji and all of a sudden you jump into like the T20 squad or the IPL squad. It's not easy.
It's not easy. And then, and you're getting paid way more. So that's getting into your head. Second, you are focusing on a lot of things. Just think about it, okay? You're playing like 3-4 tournaments back to back in a year. You can include IPL in that, you can include international tours and all of that. And then suddenly you have at least 10-20 ads lined up for you because you want to do celebrity and influencers, things like that. So I think it's very misbalanced. And if it gets to you early at the age, then it becomes difficult to get back. Like Hardik Pandya is a good example of a comeback, but was the guarantee every player is going to end up like that?
Or at least if it's a management, you guys decide where this person goes to endorse himself. Right?
That's also one.
Hardik Pandya's involvement was one such example, right?
Yeah.
There was no reason for him to go to Coffee with Karan in the first place. From where I come from, I genuinely feel Coffee with Karan should be boycotted. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you'd rather come over to the Sickma show. Like, you'd rather come over to my show. We'd have like a healthy discussion. We wouldn't really go into talking about who's more on the dark side, or
who you're sleeping with, we don't discuss it.
Or who comes from the dark side as such. We don't get into that jokes. But we definitely do have jokes, we have fun, we get into serious discussions. It's like a healthy discussion. I think it's something you want point of view from an Indian cricketer. That's no questions to be asked. But again, I think our management should ask. So, BCCI, if you guys are ever down for a podcast to send your cricketers our way, feel free.
And please feel free to have these regulations, because it's not that you're restricting anyone, it's the betterment for the cricketers. It's just what I feel. I mean, I'm no expert, but that's what I feel.
I feel lifestyle and probably the Indian cricket team should be two very different things.
Exactly.
Because when you speak about lifestyle, I think it kind of associates with film actors and celebrities, which is something they are known for. Right?
Exactly.
But when it comes to cricketer, your main sole job is the Indian team. You're carrying the Indian flag on your jersey, and you got to go portray that out to the team, like out there.
And bro, see, at the end of the day, whatever you do, you can do hundreds of campaigns for yourself and all of that, right? Ultimately, what matters is what you do on the pitch.
True.
That's literally all it matters. I can give you two stark examples, okay? India on one hand, you saw the crowd at Wankhede. Like, did you see that amount of crowd? People are giving me examples of Messi's Argentina. Bro, just look at Mumbai.
That was much bigger.
Bro, just look at Mumbai. I don't know. You just there 2-3 weeks back.
I've never seen
Anurag was there just one day after the event, by the way.
Yeah, I'd gone to Marine Drive.
Yeah, Marine Drive.
Also, that's a crazy job which the guys, whoever cleaned it up,
yeah,
they've cleaned up the whole thing.
And kudos to the police. Because managing that crowd, I'm pretty sure there might have been some minor issues. But despite all of that, did you look at the crowd? I mean, the amount of crowd outside, and it's the same crowd inside Wankhede, by the way.
This is Wankhede and Marine Drive story.
Oh, yeah,
Let me bring you guys.
The crowd was there from Wankhede till Nariman Point.
Now, Wankhede and Marine Drive had stories of massive crowds and cleanups over there.
It's probably a record. I don't know if anybody was able to count. I'm pretty sure they weren't able to. But it's a record. It's any day bigger than any football, bro. Let's accept it. It's India.
Definitely
Because,
is.
bro, if you look at it, okay, I think Nariman Point to Wankhede is like 1.5 kilometers?
It's
2.5.
more than that.
2.5, 3.
It's quite a stretch.
Okay, yeah, find that. And the road is pretty wide, bro. The road is pretty wide, and the sitting area, the footpath area also is like huge.
I don't think that bus moved until the next 20-30 minutes to reach the destination. Where were the players even staying? Trident, Oberoi's? I think that's where I saw the bus. But either way, if this was the situation at Marine Drive, you guys should have seen the situation that was taking place in Church Street, Bangalore.
When?
You guys haven't seen the memes out?
No.
Oh yeah, I did.
Let me show you the video. You can see a video right
No,
on the
so
screen.
basically, a couple of guys on Brigade Road were dancing, and then there's cops with lathis chasing them around and.
So right on the last ball, let me just tell the viewers of what happened. Right on the last ball.
So you're talking about the same final stage?
The same finals, South Africa finals.
Okay.
Right on the last ball when Hardik Pandya sealed the deal, India was secure, getting the T20 World Cup back home. George Street had a different scenario altogether going on over there. There was a video leaked right in front of, what is the place called? Bangalore? Just Bangalore? Just BLR. Just BLR, you could see cops taking the lathis, trying to get people out of from the middle of the road.
But why?
Just so cars can move. So see, the comments were kind of inclining towards the cops, but I had a different point of view over there. For me, it's like winning a World Cup, winning a T20 World Cup. It's a moment of celebration.
Of course,
the cars can fucking wait. The cars can do it,
bro.
Right? Like, salute to the Bangalore police. They were just doing their jobs. Of course, I'm not going to lie about it. I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from.
Listen, our issues with Bangalore police, I think we'll have a separate video on that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to having some content on Bangalore City Police.
Okay, complete a point and I'm going to make my point.
Yeah, but either ways, it's like people were just sitting, they were screaming in the middle of the road. It's just the same thing as Marine Drive, what is happening. So, people in the comments were inclined to the fact that, like, the cops did a good job, like, nobody should be standing on the road there. But it's a T20 World Cup, guys. Have you seen what happens in other countries?
Bro, half the comments were legit that this thing, they were shitting on them because those guys were mostly North Indians and they were getting beaten up. That was like half the comment section.
Bro, one second.
It wasn't even about the World Cup anymore.
No, 1 second. Bangalore cops, with all due respect, like seriously, you are very competent, but please get your priorities right. Bro, if people have issues with them clearing these people for a political ride, I can understand. If it's for clearing for an ambulance, I can very well understand. If it's for a private function or somebody's fucking barat or something, I can understand.
It goes outside a bar, someone is fighting, creating scene.
I get it, very good job, okay. But bro, it's a T20 World Cup. After 17 years, after 13 years, we're getting a cup. Just let them dance for 10 quarters.
Moreover, I don't blame those cops look like they were ordered. They didn't feel good in their face doing it themselves, by the way. They could see every...
And okay, fine, if you want to clear out, you can still clear out. I mean, if you shout, if you just raise your voice, people will listen to you. They don't have any option, right? Why would you fucking do a lathi charge, bro? Like, I seriously don't understand.
It was really wild, but it's not like the fans backed down either. They kept coming back on the road to dance.
Of course they will.
So, it's a win-win either ways. You guys got your lathi and like the fans got their loyalty, they got their pride to protect. But either ways, it's for you guys to decide. Comment down below whether you guys think what the cops did was the right thing or not, or do you think the fans were supposed to sit and create that scene on the road or not. But either way, this was a beautiful thing. I think I really wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, same. I've been waiting. I was actually waiting last year also. I told you that we will shoot a podcast, like a full 1 hour podcast with...
The day India gets a cup back home.
Yeah. And unfortunately it didn't happen, but it's fine. Whatever happens for the good. Maybe this was what's supposed to happen. And it happened. We were very, very happy. Now I'm really looking forward. My next big thing would be when India wins a test championship. ICC test championship will be... It'll be when India will be the top of the game. We have done everything else. We have a player with the most amount of runs. We have the best player in the world, which is Virat Kohli. We have the best captain from a long time. We have good enough number of cups now. But the test championship and really being aggressive at that, I would love to see India accomplish that feat right now.
Fair enough.
More than that. That's my big thing. And you should all comment down below what are you looking forward to and who do you think will be the next Indian captain? Who do you think is capable of that? Just drop down your comments here.
Until next time, it's been your boy Sickma. With us, we've got King Virat Kohli with the jersey number of 0.
King Gabby.
King Gabsters in the house of Sickma people. It's been your boy Sickma. We will see you until next episode. Comment down below what do you want us to shoot on your favorite sport on Sickma's very podcast. Until next time, kudos to you guys and kudos to the Indian cricket team.
Bye.